Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you this week and talk about one of the most imperative things that is going to support you on every little up level that you have, whether it's big or whether it's small. And this is imperative because without it, you will upper limit yourself and you will go back down to self-sabotaging and to procrastinating, and you won't get through that upper limit and to the next level as easily without this. I know this firsthand, and I have done it in daily little practices and I have done it in big practices. So I'm going to share some information with you that will help you understand how much of a game changer self-care is. What are your current self-care practices? Just do a quick check-in and think to yourself, what am I doing on a regular daily basis? And maybe your answer is, I don't have any, Rebecca. I don't even know what that is. I remember years ago being in a therapist's office and she said, what are you doing for self-care? And I said, I do my nails every week and I do my toenails every other week. And I do that. I go to the hair salon. I had all these things. And she goes, that's not what I was talking about. And it wasn't really truly until then that I understood really what self-care was, because I wasn't brought up knowing what it was like to honor your femininity and to take time to relax and rejuvenate and sit and allow and be in that feminine energy. And there are two different kinds of actions. There is the yin and the yang energy, and both are essential to you being the best version of yourself on each stage of the journey. It's important for you to take time for the outer action, the inspired action, the massive action. And it's just as important for you to have the self-care practices that support you to be that best version of yourself. So the daily practices can be meditation and journaling, taking a bath, using essential oils. There are many, many different things that you can do. What do you do that really recharges you? Don't make yourself wrong here. Everyone is unique, everyone is different, and there is no right or wrong way. You might need to recharge in a bunch of different areas. What do you need to do psychologically? What do you need to do spiritually? What do you need to do physically? There are different areas where you need to refill your tank, and that way you can show up and be a great version of yourself in whatever role that you're playing, as a business owner, as a mother, as a friend, as a spouse, as a partner. And then in really big events that are happening in your life, we've talked about there are things that you can predict and there are things that you can't predict. When there are things that you can't predict, there's not any kind of planning that you could do for them. But if you are doing the regular, everyday, essential self-care things, at least one or two, then when something does happen that's unexpected, you'll already be filled up. You won't be bottomed out. One of the things that I do when I travel is I have a travel checklist. So that certainly is supportive to me. And that's a self-care thing. So I feel organized and ready to go when I'm traveling. And whenever I'm traveling a long distance, whether it's in the States or out of the States, I bookend what I'm doing with tremendous self-care. So big things in our life, big life changes, big trips, big projects, all of those things require a higher level of self-care. So when I was traveling to Australia, I came up with this experiment to see if I could combat jet lag and eliminate it or have very little of it. And so what I uncovered was if I got massages and body care before I went and then flew to LA and got another body care or another treatment there, another massage there, and then went and flew 16 hours at the time in coach class to Sydney, Australia, and landed there, and within a short period of landing did some exercise to get my physiology adjusted and acclimated to the environment and to the time zone. And then I would walk from where I was staying to a spa and received another massage treatment there. And I felt so rejuvenated and so much better that I was able to really function at an optimal level. So if you are conscious about what's going on in your life, you can literally plan for your success in whatever it is that you're doing. When I was creating a lot of the content for the School of Feminine Fortune, I did the same thing. I made sure that I had adequate rest. I was drinking the proper amount of water. I may not have been exercising regularly during a particular time period in creating a large amount of content or with the video shooting, but I do exercise on a regular basis, and that supports me to be able to go into something like that and sustain myself from a physical standpoint. But what I do in those times is I make sure that I have the right support people around me so that I can feel taken care of. And then I plan for extra body care, extra massages. So normally I might get a massage every week or every other week. But when I'm going into big project launches or I'm going and doing the traveling, I make sure that I have all of those pieces planned out and on the calendar ahead of time. It gives me something to look forward to. And for me, when I have something like that to look forward to, it excites me, it inspires me, it gives me energy. So identify what it is for you. What are the practices that you're going to adopt for regular, everyday life and business, and what are the practices that you know will be a support for you when you have a big project or when you're traveling? And for each person, it's going to be different. What I will also say is that for each experience that you go through, it is different, and you may call upon different technicians, different people, different forms of self-care, and that is for you to identify. And in this week's training, you'll find a menu that will help to support you in getting clear on what it is that is going to help you to have in place ahead of time to set yourself up for incredible success when you're going through these up levels and just on a regular everyday basis so that you can feel your optimal self.